Hey everyone, Touche Facts here. Today we're going to compare la lingua italiana and the langue française. Assemblave, let's see. French and Italian are both Romance languages. They come from Latin, and more specifically they came from Vulgar Latin. But over time they started to diverge from Latin and just become their own separate languages. Still, after all those years, they are very similar to each other. 88% lexical similarity, just like us comparing Portuguese and Spanish. Some evidence of this includes jour, giorno, television, televisione, fore, foresta.
But remember, sometimes looks are very deceiving with false friends. Words that look the same but have a different meaning in both languages. Like chi meaning who in French, while in Italian it means hia, and also pronounced qui.
Gatto in French meaning cake, while in Italian it means cat. And lui in French meaning him, while in Italian it means he.
And many more.
Another one of the biggest differences between Italian and French is the phonetics and alphabets. The French alphabet has about 26 letters, the same as English, but with some sounds being different, of course, like the French A, H, the silent H, and of course many others like the vowels, the accents. While in Italian, on the other hand, there's only about 21 letters. With the ones not mentioned, which are underneath the alphabet chart here, only used for loan words, foreign words basically. With the only hard sound perhaps the R sound or the GLI, like in French, million, as well as Italian being stress timed, like in giorno, the stress going at the end of O, giorno. While in French, it's much less phonetic, with a lot of silent letters at the end of words, making it a nightmare. So, Italian in the phonetic sense is a lot easier than French. If you like the video so far, please like, share and subscribe. Now going over more the word order now, both languages are SVO, subject, verb, object. Well, in Italian's case, because it's pro-drop, meaning you don't need to say the subject if it's a personal pronoun because of the conjugation of the verb. So it can just be verb, object. Like for example, je parle français and io parlo italiano can be just parlo italiano. Just because of a verb ending. Speaking of verbs, in both languages, there's 21 tenses. All tenses in both languages are very similar to each other, and you can find an equivalent in both languages. But there are differences. In French, there's only 2 auxiliary verbs. Être, avoir. While in Italian, there's 2 verbs to be. Essere for something permanent, and stare for something temporary. Avere meaning to have as well. Along with this, French and Italian have different personal pronouns as well. To speak to someone formally in French, you have to use vous, which is basically you are a plural. But however, in Italian, you use the word she, lei, instead, as well as French having the group singular pronoun on, as well as having nasal vowels, which is something that Italian doesn't have. Now, on the subject of grammar, Italian and French both have male and female gender. In French, it is kind of unpredictable, while in Italian, it's a bit easier. Words that end with O can be male, words that end with an A are female, words that end with E, which can be male or female. Now, plurals, in French, most words end with S, some with X, some different, you get the idea from there, just very simple like English. While in Italian, it is very different. Words which end in O end with I, words which end with A end with E, and the words which already end in E in the singular become I in the plural. Yep. Complicated. In French, there's a lot less articles than Italian, which has 7 compared to about 4 in French. As well as Italian doing a lot more preposition and article combination than in French, which, yikes. Not to say French has them, it does, but a lot less predictable because of the genders, which are a nightmare. Now, in definite articles, in French they're un, une for the singular. In Italian, it is une, una, and uno if it starts with an S or a consonant or one of the foreign letters. Italian doesn't actually have the plural in definite article like in English, but French does. It is de. Now, before we end this, we're going to do a bit of extras, basically saying stuff which I forgot to say in this video. The negation between the 2 languages is kind of different. In Italian, you just use the word non before the verb, while in French, you actually use something else, which is ne and pas. In writing, you can use ne and pas with a verb in the middle, but when it's actually colloquial speech, you have to just use pas. Like for example, je ne comprends pas or je comprends pas, compared to non capisco. As well as most French verbs sounding the same, Like for example, je parle, tu parles, il parle, on parlant, vous parlez, il parle. The reason why it's not pro drop. As well as Italian sometimes having a different word order than French. Like for example, je veux t'aider compared to voglio aiutarti. The word meaning you goes to the end of a word in Italian, except in French it actually goes at the beginning. As well as having similar verb endings, some vowel combinations and consonant combinations being different hard and soft G and C sounds. And with that, we have finished analysing both languages. Oh yeah! Now the question is, for you, which to choose? Well, in fact, most of you would choose Italian for it being easier and a lot better than French in some cases, but in fact, it's actually not really that useful. It's only spoken by 60 million people, mostly in Italy and its surrounding areas, so it's not really the most international language. While French, on the other hand, is spoken by 321 million people all across the world, with so many resources and it being a very big lingua franca in Africa. But both languages do have a very good culture for history, cuisine, nice people, culture, and many more, but at the end of the day, it's all up to you. Which language do you feel more comfortable with, more motivated, and also just more interested in the first place? Because remember, it takes a lot of work to speak a language. It's not really the easiest thing to do, so it's all up to you. Even if I haven't mentioned everything about both languages, this was just supposed to be a Kickstarter for your journey of learning both, or you just wanted to know how similar are they. And if I helped you in the decision of which to learn, my pleasure. And that's it. Basically now it's your choice to choose which language to learn or not. If you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, remain subscribers by the end of the year, please. And also, au revoir, arrivederci, and cheerio!